Hi, it's Rich. How you doing? Hey, let's talk about happiness, depression, winning, losing, and survival. Okay. Now, and how are you doing right now? How are you doing these days? Are you happy? Are you depressed? Are you worried, concerned, frustrated? Let's talk about this. Generally speaking, and this is not for education, or I'm not trying to make a point here. This is more like for entertainment purposes only. Okay. So it goes like this. If you're not winning, if you're losing more than you're winning, you're not going to be very happy. If you are depressed more than you're feeling good, it's because you are not winning more than you're losing. But let's break this down and look at it deeper. First, let's look at it on a physiological level. We have these happy chemicals, they're called. It's dopamine, and dopamine is a trigger chemical that kicks in, you feel really good. It's the chemical you get when you're winning in life, and it literally makes you feel good on a physiological level. The other one is oxytocin, and we call that the love molecule. It's another hormone. But when we are loved, or liked, admired, respected, appreciated, and it feels good physiologically, emotionally, that feel-good chemical is oxytocin kicking in. And it kicks in when we are accepted, liked, admired by our society, our group, our peers, other humans. So there's that one. And the other one is serotonin. Serotonin is a feel-good chemical, hormone, that feels good, that the kind of feel good that when you're right, yes, I was right. That'd be your serotonin thing. So this is oversimplified, but on a chemical level, when we win more in life, we get more dopamine hit. When we're more loved or liked, we get a serotonin hit. When we are more right than wrong, we're more good than bad in our own eyes, based on our own beliefs, or on the rules and beliefs of the culture we live in, then we get a serotonin hit. So this is what makes us happy instead of sad, or makes us feel good and contented instead of depressed. Okay. So if you're feeling depressed, it's because you're not getting enough of one or more of these three happy chemicals: serotonin, oxytocin, or dopamine. Now, but let's look at this from the other direction, though, or from another perspective. And this is the perspective of you being depressed, frustrated, angry, unsatisfied with your life, never enough, can't get enough money, enough love, enough security in your life, enough predictability, and it's just not enough. Why? We're going to talk about that. But it's going to cause you to feel less than happy. If you're a targeted individual, you're being harassed or hounded psychologically, emotionally, physically, mentally, financially, taxes, oppressive, car insurance, too much, registration, too much for car registration. Oh, let's say you live in California and California fires are burning shit up, and you know it's not all natural phenomena. You look up in the sky and you see chemtrails everywhere. You're losing at the game of living a healthy life. Not your fault. I'm just saying. When you know 9/11 was an inside job, you're just not feeling happy about it. If there was something you could do about it, bring those that did it to justice, you'd feel like you got to win. Yeah. And if you got enough wins in life by dealing with the oppression and the suppression and the injustice going on in the world that you're aware of, if you could just get a few wins in that direction, you would start feeling more and more happy. You'd feel right. Yaha, I was right. That would be your serotonin kick. and other people would love you for what you're doing. Yeah, you did a great job sharing your information, getting out there, doing that. You did let's say you went out and you're an activist and you did something and you won at it, successful instead of failing or losing, then you're going to get your admiration and respect. You might even get admiration and respect and love, even if you lose at that. But does that feeling of being loved and cared for, appreciated by your peers, offset the cortisol hit? That's the other unhappy chemical. When you fail or lose, you're going to get or you're stressed, you're going to get this cortisol feeling, and it's going to be an energy feeling in your body, and it's going to feel like sadness and depression or anxiety or stress or fear or phobia, worries and concerns and stuff like that. So these chemicals are at play, but in life, what else is at play is what's going on in the world. And when what's going on in the world is getting very oppressive and suppressive, and you see the lies and deceit and the bullshit about corona, about pandemics and scams and bullshit demics, and all of this, and you can't win at it, or you're not winning at it, it's going to cause you to, one, feel less than happy. But it's also going to trigger the unhappy chemical, and it's going to keep you from having the happy chemicals kick in, winning with dopamine, the feeling of winning and being successful. It's like, does your government love you? Does humanity love you? Well, humanity is going through a lot of stress these days, and so humanity's having a hard time feeling the love vibration. Some people are doing fine with that, but some of us not so much. So you're not getting the oxytocin hit you would like to get, and then you're not feeling very right about what you're doing. If you're failing in romance and love and sex, you're not getting the oxytocin hit that you would like. Or if you're failing in social interaction with other people, you're not getting the, hey, it's you. Hey, we've been thinking about you. Come on, let's go. Let's party. People love you. That's going to be your serotonin hit. You're not getting that. And if you feel like you're not winning, you're not doing what you intended to do. You're not getting what you want to get. You're not being what you want to be. You don't have what you want to have. And you're not doing the things you want to do. So these are fails. These are stops and blocks on your happiness, and it will tend to lead you toward depression. Okay, so just generally speaking. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because I want to bring more awareness to humanity. Who's doing what to who? Why are you losing in life? Why are you feeling depressed or anxious or unhappy or insecure? Big picture. See, you are a big being, probably, or you haven't. You're probably a very big, loving, kind, decent being, and you're under a lot of stresses and pressures. Things are not going right for you. This is because you are aware that there are powers that be on this planet right now, groups, organizations, governments, industries, that are oppressing or suppressing you. Not just you, but humanity in general. There are the dark forces on this planet, the super rich power elite, the puppet masters that control governments. We call it the shadow government, the deep state, the Khazarian mafia, whatever you want to call these groups of satanic people. They are pulling the puppets, they're pulling the strings on this planet economically, and this new one on the health, about health. This is a great way to start putting in more and more control and more tight laws about restricting us, restricting our freedoms, our freedom to travel, freedom to socialize and gather, and they are really going after the our rights as individuals. And this, you feel it. You can feel that we're losing, that you're losing, that humanity's taken another hit in the chops. And you see it around what they're doing, how they're doing it, and why they're doing it. And this is going to make you feel depressed in the big picture. It's not just your finances, your love life, or your physical health. Humanity's taking it in the chops these days. And so if you're not feeling like you're winning, you're not feeling loved, or you're not feeling right, consider that it has something to do with how suppressive and evil these factions and the powers that be are right now, and how they're bearing down on humanity. So, what can we do about it? I don't know. But when you look at life and you look at what you are doing, what you're wanting, what you have and don't have, and what you're doing and not doing, is there a way that you can isolate something that you want that you can actually get? A lot of us, we want things that we're never going to get, or the likelihood of getting it is very, very slim. Wanting it is not the same thing as getting it, okay? So if you're wanting something but not doing anything, or not doing anything effective to get it, you're left with this sense of wanting. And that's a sense of lack. And sometimes it's a dire want, and it becomes needing. And so you end up in this place of needing. And this does not help with your winning attitude or feeling like you're winning. So in order to feel like you're winning, best be winning. And in order to win, you have to understand the games that you're playing or the games you're involved in, and they're being played against you. So when you look at how the New World Order or the super rich power elite are suppressing you, your community, your humanity, what can you do to offset that, or at least get in the battle, get into the fight, and win? One little step at a time. If you choose your battles wisely, choose your wins on a gradient. Start small, take a win, build on that, take a win, take a win, take a win. And this doesn't matter if it's financially, health-wise, or in love, sex, and romance, or family. Now, if you're closely associated with suppressive people, psychopaths, sociopaths, selfish, abusers, and they're not supporting you emotionally, psychologically, mentally, they're not supporting your belief systems, your desires, and your aspirations, you're hanging out with the wrong people, or you're living with the wrong people. And yeah, sometimes we can't help it, we can't get away from that, but if you can get away from the suppressive people and groups and environments, then you can start winning more, just because those around you are not beating you up every time you try to do something or you want something, and you say, no, that's not okay. That's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. You should focus on this. So you hang out with people that are supportive of you. You avoid the contention and the fight with suppressive people that you really don't need to be hanging out with in the first place. But if you are involved in life circumstances where you have to interact and deal with these kind of people or this kind of government or individuals or groups, you start looking at what you can do to handle the situation in such a way that you are more at cause and less the effect. It may not be a You know, I'm no more the effect of that person or that group or that government or that country or that those dark forces. You can't, it's not cut and dry, but if you've been the effect in this way and this way and that way, is there a way for you to switch it up so you're not so the effect? You're not so the effect this way, or that way, and you can be a little more at cause. And so if you intend to do something and do it in this direction, that's a little win. Deciding to do something and getting it done is a win. And it'll help you emotionally, and it'll help kick in your happy chemicals. It'll help you feel right. If there's something you intend to do and actually can follow through and get it done, you're going to get a win. You're going to be successful. And if you build this up enough of this happens in your life, you can move from depression into joy and happiness. Now, isn't that a great fucking theory? Yeah. Theoretically, it sounds right to me. It's simple. It's just not easy. This is what I've noticed. But one of the things that is important to me is empowering beliefs, truth, awakening. And I believe that there are very oppressive and suppressive groups, contingencies, agencies, factions, beings on this planet. And before you can beat them, you have to identify them. You have to know that they are there. If somebody's lurking in the background and been poisoning your drinking water for years and years and years and years, and you didn't know it, and you didn't know they were doing it on purpose, you didn't know they existed, or you may know they existed, but you didn't know they were bad beings or bad people or bad groups. You just thought, oh, this is just life. And you didn't know they were poisoning you on purpose by putting fluoride in your water. You wouldn't target them. You wouldn't think anything of it. So the first step in being at more cause and winning in this game of life that's absolutely fucking brutal on this planet is to learn the game. Learn what side you are on. Learn what side they are on. Are these your friends? Are they your allies? Are these your enemies? Are these those who are attacking you in very subtle, insidious, vicious, secretive, deceptive ways? Yeah. And there is a war going on for your mind, for your thinking, your thoughts. And it's an information war. It's a propaganda war. And the bad boys, you got to recognize them for what they are. The Mockingbird Press, the media, mainstream media, radio, television, music industry, movie industry, these are controlled by the dark forces on this planet. And they are not kidding. They are hammering at us every day with so many pieces of music, so many movies, television shows, pound, 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 hammer, hammer, hammer. They're trying to work your mind, your thinking, and your feeling states to put you in a box, to manipulate you in the ways that they want to manipulate you. And one of the things they want to do is they want to keep you unhappy, dumbed down, ignorant, suppressed, unhappy, and depressed. If they can do that, they will. So, knowing who they are and what they're doing is a very good thing. So it's called waking up. So if you're still with me on this, you have probably already woken up to some of this. There's more to wake up to as for me as well. But the next thing is you're working up the rest of the neighborhood. I find that extremely challenging. Yeah, that's not easy. Simple. You just tell them. You keep telling them. But they're getting so programmed. People are getting so programmed every day by mainstream media. Boom, 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 boom. The bullshit they're saying about the coronavirus thing is just absolutely mind-boggling. But there's so many mainstream idiots believe in that shit. It's outright lies, deception. There's crisis actors. There's MK Ultra mind control stuff it's being done on people that are becoming the shooters at schools. There's just all kinds of evil, terrible things going on in this world. And if you're depressed, you have good reason to be. It's just you don't know what those reasons are, so it makes being depressed even harder to deal with. But if you've got really good reasons to be unhappy, depressed, frustrated, aggravated, irritated, afraid, insecure, and all of this. Understanding some of these things may be able to help you start pulling out of it and realize it's not your fault. There's these teachings. It's, you're ultimately responsible. Yeah, but still, if you have one of your kids going to school every day and they're being bullied, and they come home and they're very unhappy, and you look at how are you ultimately responsible for the fucking bully beating up on your kid? How's your kid ultimately responsible for getting beat up by the 8th graders when he's a 5th grader or some shit? So you got to watch this new age teachings about who's ultimately responsible for fucking what. It's like, fuck you. But it's true. We are ultimately responsible for our condition. But it's complex how we got into the situations we're in. It has to do with relationships and love and kindness and caring and being ignorant and deceived and lied to and dumbed down. And it's a long-term phenomenon that's been going on with humanity. And it's happening to you. It happened to your parents, your grandparents, and even before that. And it is ruthless and a handful. So, I just wanted to say, if you're feeling kind of bummed out and feel like you're not winning, there are reasons for it. But you may be able to turn it around a little bit at a time. And in the meantime, not feel so wrong or bad about feeling how you feel. It's okay to feel how you feel. Pissed off, angry, hateful, lustful, afraid, sad, depressed, anxious, apathetic, grieving, whatever. The first thing to get over is feeling bad or wrong about how you feel. Because you got a feeling state that you don't like, it doesn't feel good. And then you got a layer on top of that of, oh, I'm bad for feeling angry. I'm bad for being hateful. Oh, I'm bad for being addicted to whatever the fuck. Oh, I'm bad because I'm afraid. Oh no, wait, I'm bad because I'm just a depressed fucker and I can't get my life together. I'm bad because I don't... Oh, shut the fuck up. If we can shake off feeling wrong or bad about who and what we are, fuck yeah. So anyway, that's my pep talk for today. Hope you liked it. All right, peoples. Thanks for watching this wild and crazy rant stuff I've been doing here. Appreciate it. Okay. Your feedback would be greatly appreciated. If it doesn't trigger my cortisol shit. If it triggers my dopamine, serotonin, or oxytocin, fuck yeah. Okay, you guys are the best in my book. If you're awake and you're feeling it and you want to do something about it, whether you can do it effectively or not, doesn't matter. At least if you're wanting to do it, that's better than not wanting to fucking do it. Anyway, I'll talk to you later, okay? Bye now.